This one comes from Robert Seltzer in El Paso, Texas, one of our regular question askers.
Mhm.
Hey, Mary Kay. Baker Mayfield was magnificent on Sunday, but in the aftermath of the OBJ turmoil, was he more impressive off the field than on?
That's a great question, Robert, because I actually think it was off. I really do. I think it was off the field. And I wrote this glowing post-game column, just in the euphoria of thinking about the whole victory and everything. You see the 60-yard touchdown pass, then he comes back and has the David Njoku pass. And, once again, when you start to dig into it a little bit more, and it was a glorious victory and it meant so much. But when you just start to dig into the every single play, every single pass play and what happened when they got down after 2 takeaways and they only got 3 points. They started once at the Cincinnati 30. They started another time at the Cincinnati 8. When you start at the 30 and the 8, you need to get touchdowns. You should not be getting. Last year, they were automatic. They were automatic in that. And they pretty much have the same offense. So that's kind of interesting. Well, they don't have Kareem Hunt. And I do think that once you get down into the 20, he's dynamite. So I think once he gets back, I think that will help their red zone offense a ton. Don't you think so, Dan?
Yeah, and I'm going to see if this has been updated, but coming into this week, he was still leading the team in total touchdowns. I mean, he's a difference maker on this team. There's no doubt.
Absolutely. John Dorsey. There you go. But so, yes, I actually think.
Nick Chubb, by the way, passed him yesterday. Nick Chubb is now up to 6 touchdowns, 6 total touchdowns. Kareem Hunt has 5. But remember, Kareem Hunt has only played 6 games.
Yeah. So, when you look at how the team rallied around him and his pregame speech, I thought that was cool. I remember watching it. I sat there looking out of the press box and watching them do that. It was right in front of me. And that was really cool that Miles turned the reins over. You wrote about it, that Miles handed the reins over to him and let him give that speech. And he got those guys fired up. And that's why they drafted him. They drafted Baker Mayfield in large part because of the leader that he is, the leader of players, the way he gets people to follow him, the Pied Piper effect. Remember that? That's one thing that he is so incredibly good at. And he pulled this team back together in the face of all that adversity and got them pulling all in the same direction. And yes, I think that had more of an impact than what he did on the field.
I thought, we've talked about this, Baker's maturity the last 2 years. And this sort of tested that a little bit. When he talked on Wednesday, he was real measured. He actually said he would welcome Beckham back, whether he meant it or not. He said it. I thought yesterday, he did bring up that he hadn't spoken to Odell yet, but I thought he handled that situation really well again, and he kept things very team focused and praised his teammates for how they handled the week. And I thought it was I thought this week was a very strong off the field week for Baker Mayfield and testing that maturity and sort of being that extension of his head coach. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too, by the way, is so Kevin today pointed out the stuff you were saying about you can't come away with 3 points off turnovers, right? You're coming off this amazing game. Mm-hmm. And pointing out, well, we've got to do this better. We've got to do that better. And I thought Baker struck some of those notes on Sunday afternoon after the game too. So it's just, we continue to see that maturity from Baker, when he's kind of the face of the organization now, which is not what we were seeing back in 2019. You can tell that Kevin Stefanski has really that message has hit home with his quarterback.
Yes, absolutely. He did a really, really nice job with that. And I think the thing that really stood out to me in his post-game press conference yesterday was the fact that you could read between the lines very much. And he just kept on saying, We played for each other. We
Yeah.
were about the team. It was very much the team vibe. I end up writing, something about that too, where you can just tell that what he was trying to say is, and I'm not saying that this is true because I liked Odell Beckham Jr.'s personality. I really liked him as a person. I thought he was a good teammate, but I think that what Baker was trying to say is Odell was more about himself, and now everybody on this team is just about the team, and nobody's going to care if they're just a decoy and they're just a blocker if we're going to win the football game, and everybody's going to just leave it all out there. And I think he likes what he has around him going forward now. I really do.
Yeah. All right. Another